See how it works is we are going to start with the voice line straight off the bat.
Oh.
We'll see. We'll see if Nouns can do it or whether TSM can just ensure they have that top 2 placement.
Yeah, I think TSM has, again, a draft that it can scale. Its lanes are decent. I wouldn't say they're overwhelming. I mean, you mentioned ease of execution. I don't know how hard it is to play Nouns draft. Like, your one concern is running into Global Silence and getting control there. Beyond that, your lanes are pretty much just kind of unga-bunga lanes where you bash your head against the wall. Like, Mu can definitely just be aggressive onto the Dusa. You don't have too much to worry about. Again, depending on how Whitemon tries to zone out, maybe it's awkward. But I see the aggression from Nouns being a lot stronger. Whereas TSM, they're going to have to sit back and farm here on Tomato. Bryle has some good timings lined up for his Void Spirit if his matchup goes well, and that's not a sure deal, as Nouns goes for a bit of a late smoke wrap here.
Yeah, that they do. Bottom rune spot is where it might happen. Tomato going to reveal himself. Lelis going to move in. They'll land the sticky bomb. They've got the blinding light. Tomato already losing most of his mana. We'll go for a Mystic Snake, but the blood grenades are there. Tomato out of mana completely, is set to fall, but no, he gets to the high ground. Another blood grenade though, and he hasn't got the HP pool. The blood grenade will do it. Ari able to help secure the kill there as Moo's the one to pick it up. It was his blood grenade on the SP that got it done. That's one way to do it. Like, against Medusa, you know if you throw a blood grenade, it's going to do so much damage if she's got no mana. And Tomato giving away first blood.
Yeah, not a good feeling for TSM. And again, this is where Nouns shines. All they want to do is be aggressive. There's literally nothing else stopping them. They just want to run around, want to cause havoc on the map. We'll see how much they can get away with here as we are seeing the lanes break out. Taking a look at that mid. Again, Gunner on the Storm up against Bryle on the Void Spirit. Not too bad for either side, but Gunner's level 3, level 4 spikes are pretty considerable. Just a harassment you can do onto Bryle. The Resonant Pulse Shield isn't going to stop a lot of this magic output from Gunner, so he's always got a good amount to trade back. Bryle's going to have to watch his spacing. And rune control is really big for both sides. That's where I'm actually kind of curious about how much emphasis is there for the power runes. It feels like there should be a lot. Whether or not that's enough to say get early charges out for Mu, I think is the big question in my mind, because that's the wild card factor. The Spirit Breaker can just totally change these matchups purely by showing up and being annoying.
Top lane. Kasane trying to be as annoying as possible here against Husky and Yamsun, and doing a decent job of it so far. Of course, that bot lane, Mu going to go for the creep pull away, but Tomato is there to meet up the creep waves. Mu going to try and get aggressive, does get a nice charge out. Tomato dropping low on mana, has a Mystic Snake to throw out, only landing on Lelis though, so he's in pretty massive trouble. And Tomato, he's still chasing Lelis. They might end up getting the kill, but they've lost the Dusa. So Lelis, he is still running. Whitemon unable to find the trade. And hell, even if they did, like, finding the Dusa twice now, that is a disastrous situation for TSM.
Yeah, that's ugly. Again, for Nouns, it's just overwhelming lanes. Like, what do you do to stop a Spirit Breaker with a Silencer? At the least, Lelis finally falls, but still not worthwhile. Even the top lane's going a bit rough here. Oh boy. Yeah. Yamsun finding Kasane. Kasane getting Husky back, but what does it matter? You lost your offlane Batrider, and Yamsun's the one to take the kill. Oh, it's already a very strong start for Nouns. In particular, my biggest concern is the fact that Tomato's died twice already. Not good. There's just no good way of going about this now. Tomato, he needs to get some spacing. Whitemon needs to try to zone him out, but it's the Silencer 5 up against these two heroes. He can land all of these arcane curses, try to zone them out, but you don't really care too much, especially now that Mu has a casual Ring of Health. Vanguard, once that's up, he's just going to run you down. Even the top lane, again, like, you're not stopping Yamsun from farming. Like, as a Batrider, this lane's pretty alright. Again, going for the no Napalm. I believe the only player to really go Napalm still, it's like Ice, 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 I think, when he plays that offlane bat. So you're pretty safe from Yamsun to just kind of farm, no threat. You've always got the blast off to fight back in. Like, the bounty hunter just, it doesn't do much in this lane. You know, again, it doesn't connect with your Bat Rider all too well. Maybe you get a mid-rotation out, which is what they're gunning for right now.
Bryle going to try and fight for the Power Rune. Gunner. Oh, Water Rune is going to be picked up here by Bryle as Gunner just going to keep going after the Void Spirit. Bryle in pretty big danger, but does have the help of Ari. Sticky Bomb, no, Blast Off is there. Husky will get it done as now Gunner going to be chased down by Whitemon, but they've got no spells to throw out. Gunner able to secure the kill onto Bryle thanks to the supports that do come in from Nouns. They're giving TSM a run for their money right now, I'll tell you, John. Both mid and bottom lane going pretty badly for the side of TSM, and even the top lane not going very well for them either.
Everything's just not lining up. Again, the draft of Nouns just has much stronger lanes. Every matchup just feels a lot better. It's easier to be aggressive with Nouns lineup than it is with TSM's. And for TSM, it's kind of the same as Game 2, where you're waiting for more item timings, you're waiting for more level timings to take these fights, whereas for Nouns, they're just ready to go from the start. Vanguard up on Moo. He's going to be able to keep diving around if he wants to. Just threaten Tomato constantly, make this game really uncomfy for the Dusa. And I know there's nothing to launch off of yet from TSM. You have to wait for those levels. Like, you need Global Silence, you need Track to really get rolling here.
Well, they're going to need those Wisdom Runes. Like, Nouns have been very good this series in taking all the Wisdom Runes away, especially at the 7-minute mark. So, Husky, top lane, getting quite low himself. Azari thinking about going for a dive, but needs to be very cautious about that. Husky will just stay by his tier 1 tower to remain alive, as looks like the Bounty Hunter will end up rotating. So, Ari not going to stick around. We'll go down to the bottom lane instead. Problem is, there's not really much for him to do. Like, Moo's been doing a very good job of just pulling the creep wave behind the tier 1 tower. And this is the thing with the POS 3 SB, like, he's already had the impact during the laning stage that he wanted. So now it's all about securing those early core items and then just going nuts after that. As Lelis is going to be chased mid lane here by Ari, but it's only going to really amount to a Janata strike. Not too much to write home about here for Ari. But going back to my point, like, if you get a really good start off this POS 3 Spirit Breaker, it is very hard to control him.
It's, I'd say it's already at that point with a Vanguard. Like, you're already going to be hard to zone out. You don't have the biggest magic damage coming out from TSM, or at least instant burst. Control is, again, lacking on TSM's draft. So you're just able to do what you want. They're getting some stacks off here from the side of Nouns. Ari will scout a few of them out. So they have the information, but they're not able to really stop it. They're trying, though. Running up.
They are. They're not going to give it a crack. Charge is there from Moo. He's trying to go after the Void Spirit. Bryle does not have any points in Dissimulate, so is forced to go for the Aether Remnant instead. As Moo, he's going to TP back towards the tier 2 tower and make sure the Wisdom Rune does not be given the way to Ari. As they will find both of them. Both Wisdom Runes again being taken by Nouns. Ari now caught out by the dust is going to drop. And this is the one talking point I think is really important here when it comes to Nouns. Every single series, 7 minutes in, they take both Wisdom Runes. Now, game 1, that didn't seem to matter. But game 2 and 3, it did have a pretty big impact.
Yeah, it is going to have a lot of impact here. Because TSM just goes for these supports that need levels. They're not getting levels. Their lanes are not going well. It's kind of so strange to see that TSM just, after playing so much in the patch, after being on the LAN on this patch, that they're not finding these objectives. Like, they're forced to play elsewhere. They're being punished for it. Another strong start coming out for Nouns. And for TSM, it's just a matter of a waiting game. Try to stem the bleeding. Don't force out these engagements. Get the farm up on your Dusa. Get the levels on your support somehow.
Mid lane Brawl being charged again, but this time with the Dissimulate up, he is going to be just fine to make his way out of there. One of the things we... Oh, hold on a minute. Ari in trouble. Gunner going to move in. Bash immediately out from Moo. Another bash out as well, Ari. Oh, he just couldn't catch a break. They're moving Kasane. Moo's on the run. Bryle should be able to slow him down enough for the lasso. Moo, though, still walking away now. Going to go for the Nether Strike. Back in on Bryle. And that'll force them back. It's Moo already proving to be a huge nuisance here on this Spirit Breaker. And TSM 2-6 right now, not looking too healthy. On the positive note, though, for TSM, Tomato is farming very well, but is still behind Yamsa.
Yeah, he's behind, but not in a big way. Like 60 gold, the gap isn't too bad, especially considering that start from Tomato. So you're more than happy to actually just have this space to free farm, have this action go away from your lane, and try to get that farm up. I think overall, actually, TSM aren't too far behind, core for core. Their farm is kind of staggered.
This time, Moose should just be dead. They do stun him up. He'll try for the charge out, but is going to get stopped. Nice pickup from TSM, finally putting a stop to the dominating spree of Moose. Brawl does take it for himself. Waiting for the itemization from this the Spirit Breaker this game as well. I'm wondering, does he want to go for the Shadow Blade into the Ags build-up, or is he going the Aura build-up perhaps? Because he hasn't really queued up too much here. Just a Vanguard and Phase Boots is available right now.
Yeah, I think it's rather open. There's an argument for this Shadow Blade just to be aggressive. Although I do feel like an early Crimson Guard removes a lot of TSM's bite. So I wouldn't mind either one. Would be funny if he went Phylactery. I feel like Moo's the kind of player who does that in his pubs. Not in a pro game, but funny. Definitely in his pubs. This is a very Moo-like play.
Yeah. Nothing queued up yet. It's Kasane, top lane, gonna get jumped here by Gunner. They've got the Vortex, but a nice lasso to hold down Gunner, and now with the help of Whitemon, they'll try to turn this one. Yamsun forced to back off as well. They've got Lilith around the corner to try and help out if they need it. In fact, Lilith's gonna pop the Solar Bind and try to chase after Ari on the Bounty Hunter. Does get a bit of damage off. Gunner does zip in as well, but he's so low on mana. You just cannot stick around. And Lelis, he can keep providing Chakra Magic, but now Brawl's around the corner. Looking for a potential pick-off onto the Storm, but won't be able to find one.
Yeah, just a little bit of time being wasted. Again, the big benefit here for TSM is that Tomato is free farming on the Stuza, is pulling ahead. They're applying good pressure onto Yamsun. They have some room to shove in top. The push isn't that quick.
Massive pick-off on Tomato if they can get it. Stone Gaze, he is out of mana now. And they know it. It's just a matter of whether they can cut him off here. But now they cannot. Instead, going after Ari on the Bounty Hunter. Ari will drop to Yamsun. More rotations incoming. Brawl, though, cancels his one off as he's making the jump in on Gunner instead, who went for the Vortex. So now Whitemon's been left behind, but Gunner's in trouble mid lane. He is dropping a zip away. In the meantime, bottom lane, they have found Whitemon, but the Storm is fine.
What are we, a pro team? What are we a pro team?
Oh, they're feeling confident. A lot of all chat happening here from Nouns, or rather just voice lines being spammed. As TSM just unable to find any kind of opening so far in this game number 2, or rather game number 3. I mean, I guess as long as your Deuce is farming, you're happy, but still not looking like the best here for Tomato.
It's not the smoothest ride. You're making too many sacrifices now to kind of hit these spikes on TSM. Granted, you've done a great job of suppressing certain things. Gunner, a good 500 gold behind from Bryle. So the pressure has certainly gotten to stalling out the Storm, but still has rune control, and they've got a good movement out here.
Bottom lane. Kasane is being watched here by Moo, who'll go for the charge out. He hasn't got the mana for the Nether Strike, but with the Chakra Magic from Lelis, he has no issues. He can throw it out if he wanted. It's the one combo that I think is going to be rather disgusting if Moo does get to the point where he has an Ags up. The Chakra Magic plus charge. It's going to be a ridiculously low cooldown, John, with the Chakra Magic available. As Husky, mid lane, charge, Moo landing on 2, Yamsun moving in, Brawl's gone. They picked off Husky, but Brawl's going to get tipped, and now Ari's in huge trouble. TSM falling apart here in game 3. Nouns are not slowing down. Moo is still going after Whitemon, but does cancel the charge. But, going back to that point, John, like, it's already 4-11. If Moo goes Ags, 7-second cooldown on charge, plus Chakra Magic, it becomes a 1-second cooldown?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Just charge around like a maniac.
1 second on charge.
Yeah. Very balanced hero.
That's ridiculous.
It is. I do
He's
like
not
that
gonna-
Moo is... Okay, he switches his build. He was going for the Crimson, now going for the Lotus instead. So again, just going for the utility first. Just having a safety net to play with. For TSM, this is the issues we talked about from draft. You said maybe ease of executions on them. It's not there if you don't get levels. And you don't get levels if your lanes fall this far behind. So they're gunning for more.
They are. Bryle going to get charged. Ari, though, this time around is around to try and stop him. Autos was already committed. Nice little flame break backwards, and they should have the kill onto Moo, though he's a bit of a tanky target. He'll go for a quick charge out, but was hit by the Aether Remnant of Brawl, so had no real chance of charging towards a creep wave. Pretty big pick off here for TSM, who they desperately need to put an end to that space cow. Like, he's just doing too much work.
Yeah, he's getting way too much done. Tomato shows up as well to shove in that mid tower. So overall, in terms of map and objectives, you're actually not too bad here on TSM. You've gotten 2 towers to your name. You've got some room for this Dusa to keep AFK farming. The Scotty timing going to be really big for Tomato. And now you actually have level 6s on your supports. So you can threaten with global sounds. You can try to build up off these tracks that Ari will provide. Nouns, they're still in a strong position. Again, their lead has never been that big in terms of net worth. The core-to-core farm is actually pretty even maybe slightly favoring TSM. They just have to watch themselves in some overextensions. They will go for a smoke play, though.
Yeah, they want to try and get some track kills underneath their belts. Thing is, Nouns have also smoked towards the south. Thing is, though, Yamsun gonna be spotted here by Ari. He's a big pick off. They can pick out the Morphling. Sikasane could be in danger bottom lane as well, but I think Yamsun's the much bigger kill as Global Silence was popped. Brawl's gonna make the jump in, but the Aether Remnant's off the mark. Yamsun duking it out. Should be able to strength morph and still survive. As Kasane is the one to go down, and now Yamsun, he's got the helping coming. TSM need to get the hell out of there. Brawl has no Astral Step charges. He'll get hit by the blinding light. Lelis not able to get the Soul Bind off of as it was on cooldown. But I think Nouns, just knowing that Yamsun survives, in fact, I say they were going to be okay with this, but they're going to go for even more. Whitemon being caught by Moo. That's going to be a secondary kill here. Yamsun does pick up another on the Morphling. TSM, they are not finding what they need to find with these rotations. And again, the only positive right now is Tomatoes hitting creeps. That's literally it.
Yeah, that's the only takeaway they have. Really awkward mistake to make from Bryle. If he landed at 8 for Remnant, that could have been a kill. Like, that would have been the kill that they were looking for. They get punished instead. Really great response out from Nouns to gun for a little bit more. And it's just difficult, right? Like, Whitemon's forced to use Global Silence. They're forced to jump in earlier, so they can't get the double step damage onto the Morphling. They only get the 1, as Bryle is forced to move in. And that just leaves very little room for error in execution. They might find at least Husky, perhaps.
I mean, they track him up. He'll just pop the dust and Moo's there, ready to go whenever. Moo now picking up a Yules for himself. So nice way to purge off the Global Silence. Even the track as well, of course. So, I mean, TSM, these gank attempts have been pretty lackluster from themselves. Sadly, Ari's not having a good game as a bounty, right? Like, you want those track kills to go your way, but TSM just have not been able to find the openings necessary to make these track kills work. Skarner's going to get jumped, but does avoid the Aether Remnant with the zip away. And he's just got this constant chakra magic being pumped out by Lelis. So he's really just never running out of mana on the Storm. He's always got mana to use.
Yeah, he's always got something. It's always going to be able to jump in, commit. I like the activity coming out from Gunner, even though sometimes it's not the most successful. It is forcing so much away from TSM.
Ryle. Simulate already committed. They do bait it out. The charge was incoming from Moo, but the problem is now Gunner's in trouble. Gunner going down. Gunner is down. His charge was there. Moo going to cancel that one off. Instead, they'll chase down Ari. It's not a good trade for Nouns, though. TSM, the ones that want to keep the fight going. They will not, however. They'll be forced to back off as they don't want to dive too deep. But that's a good pick-off for TSM. They should be very happy to walk away from that.
That's the kind of kill they need. It does cost them Global Silence. I think you were gunning for more for sure. You'll take what you can get. Like, it is a massive spell to commit. I think Nouns understanding Global Silence is down for a minute and a half. They can make some plays across the map. Like, Moo is still free to charge across, do what he wants, get some control. He isn't quite gunning for the Ags yet, but he is going for the Octarine at least, which is also another way to keep spamming out these charges.
Bottom lane, Moo. Gonna be chased up. Not actually gonna charge away. We'll just stand there and just look at them. TSM. Still buying more and more time for Tomato, who almost has the Skadi up now. Big timing against the Morphling, of course. Yamson. Going for the Axe build up very soon as Ari. Gonna go for the track here on Gunner. TSM, they might want this team fight, but they don't have Global Silence. Still, they're going to make the jump in again onto Gunner, but he'll be able to zip away just fine as now the charge is out. Moo wants to go right after the Bat Rider. Blast Off's going to land on Ari, but Tomato's here with the Stone Gaze, so Nouns, they want to back their way out of this, and they will do so. And the one existing threat is Tomato, who is top of the net worth board. It's the one guy they don't really want to have to deal with in a 5v5 engagement. And as soon as they see him pop Stone Gaze, they just run. They know it's not the fight.
Yeah, it's just really awkward to have to go into the Deuce at this point with no easy way of clearing through the mana shield. 6-14, 1k lead still holds for Nouns, but again, it's not a wide lead. It's still a rather even game, all things considered. All the cores kind of evenly matched for the most part, and you can see that win probability leaning Nouns' way very slightly, 52% versus 48%, as that Skadi's fully built up now on Tomato. So the stats are up for the Dusa. What I want to see is, when Yamson gets his Hags, if he turns into Bryle, 40% of each stats. 40%. Why?
Oh, someone on Reddit said, Icefrog, if you're a real man, make Morphling Universal Hero. And I was like, you know what? That'd actually be amazing if he just made Morpher Universal. How great would that be, John? Be amazing.
That sounds absolutely busted, not gonna lie. That's
I don't know how well it would go, but it'd be pretty funny to watch it.
It
At least
would
for
be.
one little patch.
I think it's a bit much since he's a natural Skadi Manta builder. Like, him using every stat, sounds kind of nightmarish. And then turning into Universal Hero with 40% stats stolen? Yeah.
I like it.
Balanced.
Good idea.
I mean, water
You're right,
is universal, right?
It is. Everyone drinks it. Yamson. Oh, 8th remnant off the
Again?
mark. Again. Still, Lasso's going to connect, but he's got the strength morph going, so he's perfectly fine for now. But for how long? Manta style is there. He's still dropping, and he is gone. Nobody around to help out Yamson apart from Moo. And with the Skadi up on Tomato, they had the damage, they had the control.
Yeah. They make it work. Again, it takes a lot of commitment out from TSM. That's basically trio ults. Lasso gone. Stone Gaze gone, Global Silence gone for that one kill, but it's a very worthwhile kill for TSM to find. Getting some good use out of that Skadi reveal on Tomato. The side of Nouns, I mean, they've got that full Octarine up on Moo. So he's got a lower cooldown charge already. Who needs the Axe, Mike, when you've got Octarine? Drops your Nether Strike cooldown too, so it feels good.
Even the bulldoze feels really nice. Ari's going to find him. Track is there. Moo will realize he's being tracked, so he just walks away. Tomato comes over. It's definitely a guy he doesn't want to deal with right now. I appreciate Moo going for the smart build, but God, I want to see the Axe. Because now with the Octarine core, if he gets Chakra Magic, he just has infinite Axe. Infinite charge. As long as Chakra Magic's available, there's a charge available. It's Moo. It's jumped on, had the bulldoze though, so the 8th remnant not going to last too long as now Gunner trying to look for a Vortex. Is not going to fight. Nice jump away from Bryle. I think they might even think about Roshan here. They will move over to the pit. Problem is, Nouns, they should have a pretty good idea that this is happening. And they are going to smoke up behind Gunner.
They'll make their way down. There is vision, but no one's breaking that smoke. Ari's a little bit too far out.
Oh,
break it by the ramp.
They've got the Axe here, John. Yamson's picked it up. They want to go for the surprise reveal. They're going to see Tomato. He'll morph into the Medusa. So now with the mana shield, he's going to be annoying as well. As Tomato and try and get to work, just stealing mana from each other right now. As Tomato and Yamsun going at it. Charge is going to be there. Vortex out from Gunner, but no, he doesn't get it off. The Stone Gaze was committed, forcing them back. As now Brawl making the jump in. Found the Storm. Is going to burst down Gunner. Gunner is down. He will buy it back. He wants to get back into this team fight. They do not want to allow Roshan to go the way of TSM for free. Yamsun onto Kasane will find the Batrider as now they really want Tomato. But Gunner's low on mana. He needs the Chakra Magic. Lelis will get it off. Tomato's surrounded. He's manning up against 5 basically. His Moose trying to hold the rest of them back and he's doing a good job of it. Tomato still fighting, but now he's out of mana.
What?
Now he should go down, but Yamsun's still in trouble. Yamsun's still getting pretty close to death, but he will be able to survive as they continue. The buyback was there from Husky as well. TSM still chasing for a little bit more. Gonna find
no.
Yamsun with an Aether Remnant. Brawl gonna hold him mid-TP. But can they kill him? Yamsun is still going. Waveform away. TSM, they want to keep chasing, but they don't have Astral Step. Instead, Husky. Blast Off was there, but he misses the stun. It won't matter though, because Mood does compensate with the charge. He will find the Bounty Hunter as he wants more. Wymon now charged up. Ari's going to commit the buyback. In comes Kasane with the Batriders. Roshan gets involved with the team fight now. He'll go to the next side of the map. It's too noisy over here. Husky trying to run. Kasane on the chase. Should eventually have the techies. Surely, is the blast off? It's going to be cancelled. He's got the lasso. What a team fight coming out. Even Roshan had enough, just walked away mid-fight.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. Nouns does manage to get some good punishment. It does cost them 2 buybacks, which isn't the best thing in the world. A dieback for Gunner, a dieback, I believe, as well for techies, and just really awkward overall. Like, TSM gets a lot more out of that. It's surprising how tanky Tomato is. Like, even without mana for a while, like, Yamsun couldn't really touch him on Strength Morph. I am disappointed though. I get why you turned to Medusa, but give me those 40% stats, Yamsun. Let me see how Ryle looks as a melee creep that jumps around. Because that's what he turns into when you steal all of those stats. That's how you play it. Turn into the universal type, Yamsun. Turn to the... Well, it's not really the dark side. TSM though, lining up for the top rush. They've got the wards once more. And that was a lot of commitment out from Nouns, even in wards. Like, they had a really nice left side ward in the Roche pit. Now they don't have that. And TSM just get to go back. And that fight lasted so long. Global Silence is back up. Jeez.
I mean, everything's basically back up. All ults are available right now as Roshan casually being taken here by the side of TSM. No real contest. Nouns not going to make their way over. Just going to push out the waves, buy themselves a bit more time to farm. There goes Tomato. He'll pick up the Aegis. So now you've got to deal with this guy twice, and he's already a pretty big issue as it stands. His lines are being drawn out through the bottom wave, so it seems like that's exactly where TSM want to go through here. At least Ari has been drawing out some lines. I do appreciate the fact as well, like, you look back at Moo on the Spirit Breaker, he is going to be going for the Heaven's Harbird, which I think is going to be very important against the Medusa. Such a value item against this hero. And she's really the big issue now in these team fights, as every Medusa tends to become if the game goes long enough. Tormentor is gone, so Ari will be able to pick one up now. We'll have the Shadow Walk to be used on his allies. Can be pretty detrimental. Like, if you're not expecting that invis to come out, very annoying to try and play against.
Shadow Walk up on Brawl. You can get the Shadow Walk off on Tomato in these fights. It's a lot you can get done with that. Even just Shadow Walking your Batrider as initiation is going to be big here as well. Although, to be fair, Nouns has been pretty on point with detection. That's not something that TSM's been able to catch him off guard with. Still.
He had the bulldoze going, not so much anymore, unless he randomly pops it, because he does. Kasane's gonna have to wait now, I think, as the charge away is there. Can they catch him? No, Aether Remnant's off the mark. Moo's fine.
Mystic
I
Snake
actually
just
had a
chasing.
Void Spirit. I actually had a Void Spirit yesterday who kept catching me mid-charge with an Aether Emerald. It's very annoying.
Yeah, that's a simple get good right there, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I won the game. Don't get me wrong, Jonathan. I mean, I was
That
playing
shows
Spirit
your
Breaker. How
impact,
could I
Mike.
lose?
That's fair. Yeah, like you can get caught, but you can just charge again. You just keep going. Spirit Breaker's just gassed up. You know, he ain't stopping.
Love it.
Still, at the very least, right now, Tomato's not stopping as well, as he will get that siege going. Does clear it out. Does have the goal to buy out his Moonshort if he wants it, but I'm just holding out, trying to get the Daedalus first, holding on to casual Hyperstone. Again, very even game, 11-17. 1k lead for the side of TSM as they will sneak away and take another Tormentor for themselves. So Bryle this time getting his shard. Wow. I mean, this is good that Whitebot's not getting his. It's just a lot of hate, I feel. 2 Tormentors in a row and the lowest net worth guy just doesn't get anything. What the hell?
Oh, what can you do? I mean, he's playing Silencer anyway. The Shards is not that good on a support Silencer.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's fair,
It's
but
whatever.
it's... Wait, how is it... How is Bryle the lowest? I guess up against the other cores, yeah, he's probably the lowest. All right. Makes sense.
Gunner. Could be a big pick-off if they could catch him, but he will ball lining all the way to the top and just TP out. So Nouns, I mean, again, realizing that after that last team fight, like, Tomato's proven to be extremely strong, and now with the Aegis up for 2 minutes, it's definitely not something you can deal with throughout a fight. So just going to try and defend high ground, maybe just secure some more farm on their cores. Obviously, this Morphling going to have a Skadi soon, but won't have buyback if he does buy it outright. Now you've got the full Daedalus available on the Deucer, so Tomato starting to hit very, very hard as they have found Moo once again. Moo should still be able to run, and the Flame Break's not going to connect. He'll be just fine to do so.
Ooh.
A nice Aether Remnant from Bravo. But is it going to be enough? Moo is still running. He pushes him away with the Psychic Headband. Moo is still trying his absolute best to find a way out. The Bulldoze status resists the charge. It's not enough. That was close. That was pretty close to getting away, but they got it.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Again, it takes the lasso out from Kasane. Not the biggest deal in the world now. Cooldown's not too bad. So not as much of a commitment as we've seen TSM kind of throw out before, where they throw out GS to find a pickoff. And this does provide an opening. They can go for a push play. Only a minute left in the Aegis, so not the longest, but you've got the full Daedalus and Tomato. This is not a Deuce you want to run up into. It's a lot of output right now coming out from Tomato, and they respect that on Nouns. Just gonna have to give a tier 2 away. So you're still getting that build-up you want on Yamsun. Yeah, he's going for the Lincolns next. That can save from this single target control that we are seeing coming out from TSM. At the same time, I mean, you've got track to constantly break anything like a Lincolns. So it's not the biggest worry for TSM as long as they don't get caught off guard by it.
Gonna find Husky. We see him TPing at the top lane. Husky, I mean, he's gonna try to run, but surely they've just got the kill here as he will blast off towards the north, just buying as much time as humanly possible. Bryle picking up another kill. More Heaven's Halberds coming out as well, by the way. Kasane now picking one up against the Morphlingers. He's gonna show himself along with Tomato mid lane. Both pos ones revealing themselves, but I don't think Yamsun really wants to get involved right now. Do you have the full moonshot up on Tomato now as well? Like, he's huge.
It's just machine gunning down. Medusa is way too big of a target right now. Much too durable for Nouns at this point. This is where, you know, execution is a lot harder. Outside of a laning phase, outside of that mid-game, early mid-game, early late-game spike. Now they need to find these angles.
Charges there. They're going to try and get through the mana shield, or just the mana, the stone gaze. Tomato, he's actually out of mana right now. This could be the opportunity that Nouns have been looking for as Yamsun getting to work. Moo holding him down. Tomato's gone. Oh, I can't believe it happens that quickly. Limon also caught out of the silencer. He is dead to boot. Yamsun able to find a double. How do they get it done that quick?
They just managed to
This mana
focus
just
in.
disappeared.
I mean, you just lay on to that Dusa when no one else is around, and what's a Dusa gonna do? You know, it's like Stone Gaze went off. The Mystic Snake bounces weren't that big. They just get punished. Kasane now
In trouble. They've got another charge up. Brawl is there to try and help out with the Aether Remnant to lock down Mu, but again, the charge is available. Problem is they are lacking the vision. So Ari instead is going to be targeted. They'll just take him out, but now Brawl going to try and salvage as Husky is out with the blast off Brawl. He is out of actual step charges.
What?
Oh boy. Tips out from Mu, who's doing a splendid job this game 3, but Brawl, a very aggressive step in, and he does pay for it.
I don't understand why. He only had the one step. He goes in, doesn't manage to instantly dissimulate. It's a bit optimistic to look to kill Mu with 3.3k HP. That's not a hero that's falling down that fast in these fights. So, a bit of a mistake, and that leads to Nouns just having this overwhelming, well, not overwhelming, but a significant enough lead. 3k up, 13 to 21. TSM, they're not out of this game for sure. They're still in it. You've still got scaling from your Dusa. You've still got item slots left. It does feel a lot harder to play this. I do like that we're seeing Kasane queue up the Hex now. Just a little bit more control to come through. Lincolns for Brawl set up here as well. But Nouns, they're in a comfy position. Ag's being worked up on by Gunner. AoE Vortex will help open up these fights. Your Morphling has the Lincolns. Again, it's pretty hard to try to run up, even though you can track to keep popping the Lincolns. We need to see the coordination kick in from TSM. Like, break the Lincolns into the lasso on the Yamson somehow and play there.
They're looking at the Medusa. They surely know Tomato couldn't be alone, so maybe Ari gets caught out here. There is no sentry ward at this top lane just sitting there, so they won't know the bounty hunter's walking around that area. Tomato is going to go back for the full butterfly. Yamsun going back for the disperser. Just wanting that mana burn against the Medusa, of course, and it's going to be very, very nice. They may want to try and perhaps change into an MKB if the butterfly does come out. We'll see. For now, though, disperser does feel quite nice. TSM sitting well and truly back, realizing they are definitely not out of this game number 3 yet. Like they've got to just take it easy and really ensure they take a good team fight next time as Nouns. They're going to go after Roshan, it seems. Gunnar is watching Roshan as we speak.
Yeah.
There we go. Roshan started. Nouns. It's the first Roshan I believe that they've had first dibs on. The butterfly is now available on Tomato, so they want to try and force the fight with this, and they have smoked up as 5. But Aegis is already the way of Nouns. Cheese will be picked up by Mu, and the immediate TPs are there. Nouns do not want to stick around. They'd rather go back, reset, and maybe smoke up themselves. And that's absolutely fair enough.
Yeah, no need to force the issue from Nouns. No need to put yourself in a pretty awkward spot. Gunner has his full Ags if he wants to buy out here. He does have the cheese. There you go. AoE Vortex ready. The team fights for TSM are just suddenly really awkward. They're really hard to find the openings. We've got to see them stack their spells well. We need to see Brawl absolutely connect every single time he comes in for the Remnants. Connect to as many people as he can with the Resonant Pulse for the silence. And try to give a good position for Tomato to use his Stone Gaze on. It's been a little bit rough in finding these openings.
Yeah, it's mid lane, Lilith. But top lane, Kasane. Both sides of the map, someone's getting caught. Kasane actually popped the lasso, I believe, to try and survive through this, but is going to go down. Successful trade for Nouns as now Tomato gets spotted. Yamsun immediately going to morph into the Medusa. Meanwhile, Mu will go for a charge into the mid lane onto Brawl, who already committed to dissimulate, so he could be in a spot of danger as now Gunner's in with the Vortex. Brawl is able to step away, but they can keep the chase up. They've got the mana here on Gunner. Dissimulate is out. Meanwhile, Tomato actually goes down to Yamsun. Oh, Yamsun's found the Dusa. We've been focusing on Brawl this whole time, but the real carry's gone as now Brawl's down as well. Is this just GG?
This could be. They still have some objectives to dig through, but that is a very determining fight for the outcome
Ari.
of this game.
Ari in trouble as well. It's definitely not GG yet because they are doing a decent job of holding Nouns backwards, but Nouns, they are a little bit low in terms of mana for Gunner. It's like Gunner, rather Yamson should at least be able to find one lane of barracks here. TSM should be able to hold out for at least one more team fight or just hold high ground in general. You've got Kasane up in 2, but he's going to need some help to defend this high ground. You just can't afford to lose Tomato. It's just, he's too much of the team right now on this Medusa.
It's the team's win condition. They just lose out like that while focusing elsewhere in the chase, and now you're going to be racks down. Yamson just not a care in the world right now. Knows he's very well protected. They're going for 2. They know they can get away with it.
Why not? Why the hell not? Nouns. Not going to stick around too long. Tomato is back up and available. And Tomato queued up an MKB now. Like he needs it against Yamson's Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yamson does have his own MKB.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
TSM, again, not out of this game yet. It is a 14k advantage the way of Nouns, but it is starting to feel like the net worth doesn't really matter as much anymore. It's just the draft and the way this is being played out as Tomato. He's alone, top lane. Vortex drag him back. Can they drain the mana though? Tomato for now is still perfectly fine as Yamson. He'll get to work again. Mu is still holding down this Medusa. Tomato's almost out of mana. He needs some help. They can't leave him alone. They need to help this Medusa out, but he's gone. The blast off is there from Husky. They've taken down 3. There's no buyback available. It might be time, but no, they buy back. They want to try and keep going. 3 buybacks committed. Gunner's the target. They should at least have the Storm Gunner though. He's able to zip out. Oh my goodness. Nouns have lost nothing so far. In fact, they are still going after the mid-racks. They are not done with this game. All this team fight. Yamson is not backing off. He still has 40 seconds on the Aegis. The only person looking for the reset is Gunner.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Onto the Megas they go. Tomato not being up. It's just so hard to defend this. Charges there. Ari and Brawl both getting hit. Mega creeps now up. Yamson. 20 seconds left on the Aegis. TSM, they're being very patient to not take the Aegis out. They want to try and time it perfectly to take down this Morphling, who, by the way, won't have buyback if he does end up dying. But they will back off, they will retreat. Wait for Gunner to be back, and here we go again. The recall was there as the zip is in from Gunner. They don't need to overextend, right? Like, you've got Megas up, you can take it easy now. Even if Tomato's respawning, let him come.
Yeah, you're not in a rush now for Nouns. The side of TSM can clear out Mega creeps pretty well with Medusa though. So they can kind of try to stall out, but they need to protect Tomato. He keeps getting jumped. He doesn't have anything defensive up outside of the Manta. And it's just easy pickings once that charge is on, once the heroes just collapse on top of him. The Deuce is not going to survive that long. I mean, you don't have something like your Ags plus Shard build up to get some stall and counterplay. You're not going to be able to just self-sustain up front. On the side of Nouns, this is a good look for them. This is finally their opportunity, perhaps, to go to Bali if they play their cards right. Just maintain this lead. Don't go too crazy. And, you know, gun for that win. TSM. It's a rough game.
Rough.
It looked so good in game 1.
Charge cancelled off. It really did look so good in game 1. 22-1 was the scoreline. In game 1, like TSM just single-handedly destroyed them. And you would have thought that was going to be a quick 2-0 series based off that first game. But man, oh man, were we wrong in thinking that? Because now the charge is out. They have found Ari. The bounty hunter is just dead. It's going to be a 4v5, no buyback available for Ari. There's no buyback available on anyone right now. There's Mu. He does end up going after Brawl. Vortex is there from Gunner onto Kasane, but they've got to be careful about the lasso. Still the double lasso committed through the Lotus Orb. Oh, TSM. Kasane holds themselves down. Brawl's still going to jump in. Kasane is down, however, Yamson running out of mana, but he's still more than happy to keep chasing Tomato down. In fact, now they're back onto the tier 4 towers, back onto Brile. Brile's being used up constantly. Can he get away? It seems like at least for now he can. He'll go back for the team fight, but there's your blast off. Husky's back in. Tomato's out of mana. Tomato's gone. That's it. GG is called. TSM end up losing the series 2-1 to Nouns. I cannot believe Nouns have finally done it. Oh, they've been trying the whole year, but they have finally managed to place top 2.